My marriage to David had settled into a quiet routine over the past 8 years. At 38, I spent my days managing the house, painting in my small studio, and waiting for evenings when he might come home early enough to share dinner. Most nights he didn't. Work always came first. Late meetings, business trips, endless calls. He was affectionate when present, a quick kiss on the cheek, a thank you for keeping everything running smoothly, but the passion we once had faded long ago. I felt more like a reliable roommate than a wife. Then Alex moved back home. David's son from his first marriage, 22, fresh out of college with no job lined up yet. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair that fell over thoughtful eyes. I'd always liked him during his weekend visits growing up, but now he was undeniably a man. Confident, kind, and surprisingly attentive. While David scrolled through emails at the table, Alex asked about my latest canvas, really listened when I described the colors I mixed, even brought me coffee when he noticed my mug empty. Dinner that first week back was typical. David talked about quarterly projections. I nodded along. Alex caught my eye across the table and smiled, small and genuine. "Your paintings are incredible," he said later as we cleared plates. "You should exhibit them." David grunted agreement without looking up from his phone. I felt a warmth I hadn't in years. Someone saw me. Alone in the kitchen, I caught myself noticing how Alex's shirt stretched across his back when he reached for a glass. Guilt hit instantly. He was my stepson. David's son. Yet the house felt different with him in it. Alive, charged. I told myself it was harmless appreciation, nothing more. But late that night, after David fell asleep mid-conversation on the couch, Alex knocked softly on the studio door. "Can we talk?" he asked, voice low. "I've been going through some stuff." His eyes held a vulnerability that made my heart ache. I nodded, letting him in, unsure why my pulse raced as he closed the door behind us. He sat on the old armchair, hands clasped, and began to open up about the breakup that had sent him home, the loneliness he couldn't shake. I listened, offering quiet comfort, but the air between us thickened with something unspoken. When he finally looked up, his gaze lingered too long. "You're the only one who really gets me," he said. The words hung there, dangerous and inviting, pulling me toward a line I never imagined crossing. David was away on a week-long business trip, the house unusually quiet without his footsteps or the low hum of his laptop. Rain tapped against the windows as evening settled in. I poured a glass of wine and curled up on the living room couch with a book, trying to ignore the restlessness that had been building since that night in the studio. Alex appeared in the doorway, hoodie damp from a run, hair tousled. He hesitated, then sat on the opposite end of the couch, closer than usual. "You okay?" I asked, setting the book down. He exhaled sharply. "Not really. That breakup wrecked me more than I let on. Feel lost. Like no one actually sees me." His eyes met mine, steady and raw. "Except you. You always have." My throat tightened. "I'm here to listen, Alex. Always." He shifted closer. "It's more than listening. I've been thinking about you constantly. The way you move through this house, the way you light up when you talk about your art. You're beautiful and kind and desired by me." The words spilled out, quiet but deliberate. "I know it's wrong. I know you're married to my dad. But I can't pretend anymore." I froze, heart pounding. "Alex, please," he whispered. "Just once. Let me hold you. Let me show you how it feels to be wanted the way you deserve. No strings, no expectations. Just comfort. Just us." The room felt smaller, the rain louder. I should have stood up, told him to stop, reminded him of every boundary we were about to shatter. Instead, I heard myself ask, "What exactly are you asking for?" His hand brushed mine, warm and tentative. "To kiss you. Touch you. To make you feel alive again. I see how lonely you are. Feel it too. We could take that away from each other, even if it's only tonight." Guilt surged through me like ice water, followed immediately by a rush of heat I hadn't felt in years. David's face flashed in my mind. his distracted smiles, his endless absences. Then Alex's eyes, pleading, hungry, alive. I thought of my own reflection in the mirror lately. Faded, waiting, unseen. I thought of how Alex looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. "We can't," I said, but my voice lacked conviction. "We already are," he answered softly. "Just by talking about it." Silence stretched between us, thick with possibility. My pulse thrummed in my ears. Every rational part of me screamed no. But the part that had been starving for touch, for desire, for someone to choose me first, it whispered yes. I drew a shaky breath. "If we do this, it changes everything." "I know. And we never tell anyone." "Never." My hand trembled as I reached out, fingers grazing his jaw. The moment our skin connected, the decision was made. "Yes," I said, the word barely audible. "Tonight. Just tonight." His eyes darkened with relief and want. He leaned in slowly, giving me every chance to pull away. I didn't. When his lips finally met mine, soft and searching, the world narrowed to that single point of contact, and I knew there was no going back. His K***s deepened the moment I surrendered, hungry yet careful, as if he feared I might vanish. My hands found the back of his neck, pulling him closer, and every doubt dissolved in the heat of his mouth on mine. We moved from the couch without breaking contact, stumbling down the hallway to the guest room he'd been using. Farther from the master bedroom, safer from ghosts. The door clicked shut. Moonlight filtered through half-closed blinds, casting silver stripes across the bed. He peeled off my sweater slowly, reverently, eyes drinking me in like I was something priceless. "You're perfect," he murmured against my collarbone, lips trailing fire down my skin. I arched into his touch, forgetting everything but the way his hands mapped my body. Strong, certain, worshipful. Clothes fell away in urgent whispers. Skin met skin, and the shock of it stole my breath. He was warm, solid, alive in a way nothing in my life had felt for years. I guided him onto the bed, straddling him, needing control for the first moment before giving it away entirely. His fingers dug into my hips as I sank down, taking him in slowly, savoring the stretch, the fullness, the raw connection. We moved together in a rhythm that felt both new and inevitable. Every thrust erased another layer of loneliness. He whispered my name like a prayer, told me I was beautiful, desired, his. I believed him. Pleasure built in waves, cresting higher each time he filled me, until I shattered around him with a cry I muffled against his shoulder. He followed seconds later, burying his face in my neck, body trembling as he spilled inside me. Afterward, we lay tangled in the sheets, hearts hammering in unison. His fingers traced lazy circles on my back while I rested my head on his chest, listening to the rain ease outside. For those quiet minutes, the world was perfect, guilt suspended, consequences distant. He K********* my forehead, soft and lingering. "I've wanted this for so long," he confessed. "Even when I shouldn't have." I pressed closer, inhaling the scent of him, memorizing the weight of his arm around me. Part of me wanted to stay there forever, wrapped in this stolen warmth. Another part already felt the cold creep in. David's voice on the phone earlier, asking if everything was fine at home. I'd lied smoothly, too smoothly. Alex's phone buzzed on the nightstand. He ignored it at first, then glanced over and tensed. "It's Dad," he whispered. The screen lit up again. Missed call, now a text. Landed early. Home in an hour. Panic flickered through me, sharp and immediate. We untangled quickly, silently, gathering clothes in the dim light. He pulled me into one last fierce K**** before we slipped out separately. I hurried to the master bathroom, turning the shower scalding hot, trying to wash away evidence that couldn't be scrubbed off. As water pounded over me, ecstasy lingered in my veins, but so did dread. The high was already fading, leaving only the irreversible truth. I had crossed the line, and there was no stepping back. David came through the door just after midnight, suitcase wheels rumbling over the hardwood. I was in the kitchen, pretending to read on my phone, heart still racing from the shower that couldn't wash away what I'd done. He d my cheek, smelled faintly of airport coffee, and said the flight had landed ahead of schedule. I smiled, said I was glad he was home safe, and excused myself to bed before he could notice anything off. Sleep never came. I lay staring at the ceiling, replaying every touch, every whispered word with Alex. The memory burned sweet and shameful at once. By morning, the house felt different. Every corner held a secret, every glance across the breakfast table carried weight. Alex avoided my eyes while passing the orange juice. David, oblivious, talked about his meetings and asked if anything exciting happened while he was gone. Nothing at all, I lied, voice steady. Alex's hand brushed mine under the table for the briefest second. Electric, apologetic, final. We both knew it had to stop. Later, while David napped on the couch, Alex found me folding laundry in the utility room. "We can't do this again," he said quietly, leaning against the dryer. "It was everything I wanted, but it's destroying you. I see it already." I nodded, throat tight. It was a mistake. The most incredible mistake I've ever made, but still a mistake. My voice cracked on the last word. He stepped closer, cupped my face gently. "I don't regret feeling you," he whispered. "I regret hurting you." Then he d my forehead. Soft, chaste goodbye, and walked out. The days that followed were torture. David was attentive in his distant way, planning a weekend getaway to reconnect. I agreed, desperate to outrun the guilt gnawing at me. Alex moved out 2 weeks later, claiming a job offer across town. We hugged stiffly in the driveway while David loaded the last box into Alex's car. "Take care of yourself," Alex murmured against my ear, so low only I could hear. I managed a nod, eyes burning. Alone in my studio now, I paint more than ever. Dark, swirling colors that don't quite capture the chaos inside. David compliments the new work, says I seem inspired lately. I smile and say yes, something shifted. He never asks what. Some nights I still feel Alex's hands on me. Hear his voice saying my name like it mattered. The longing hits sharp and sudden, followed immediately by a wave of self-loathing. I crossed a line I can never uncross. I betrayed a good man who trusts me completely. I risked everything for one night of being truly seen, truly wanted. And the worst part, if I could go back to that rain-soaked evening on the couch, knowing everything I know now, knowing the guilt would live in my chest forever, I'm not sure I'd change my answer. Said yes, and part of me always will.